Welcome to Talk That Talk with DivaSpeaks Relationships. My name is AnGala, and we have another question that has come through in the inbox. You already know. It's one that we need to talk about because our good sis is a little bit confused. So the question is it advisable? I like the way she kind of posed the question, right? Is it advisable to reconcile with a guy who dumped you to go back to his ex-girlfriend? Once again, the question that our good sis has, is it advisable to reconcile with a guy who dumped you to go back to his ex-girlfriend? That is the question. So let's get into it. First of all, you use the word dumped, which leads me to believe that you was ambushed by this breakup. Got a lot of things going on with this breakup. When he broke up with you, he had already made his decision. And you got to ask yourself, before he made that decision to dump you, to go back to her, what happened in between? What happened in between the two of you in a relationship, and to the best of your knowledge, a good relationship where the both of you were at least happy? What happened between you being in a relationship with him and being happy and then him dumping you? What happened in between? When did the communication resume with his ex-girlfriend? Okay? Or when did it transition, if they were still talking, right? If they still had some form of communication, when did it transition from being cordial to now conversations about rekindling their former romance? There's a lot in between that you don't or didn't know about. You were blindsided by this breakup. And you see, everything in between that happened, and then he comes back to you with a decision versus talking to you about what was going on during the process, that's called betrayal. And what he did was, you got to think about this. This man kind of counted up the cost. He weighed the pros and the cons regarding staying with you, going back to her. He made his choice. He went back to her. He devalued the relationship that he had with you to go back to her. He saw more value in rekindling that relationship at that time with her than being honorable and remaining committed to you. And if you decide to reconcile with this man, just as he did his former girlfriend that he dumped you for. He dumped you to go back to her. Now they're no longer together, and here he's back at your doorstep wanting to rekindle the romance and reconcile with you. Who's to say he's not going to do this again? This is not a trustworthy person. He's hurt you once. He's dumped you once behind that woman, his ex-girlfriend. Will you allow him to do that again? Because again, there's a lot in between you being in a relationship with him and being happy with this man. Okay, I'm thinking, I hope. I hope you weren't naive to some things that was going on and some shenanigans and ignored a lot of red flags along the way. I hope you didn't say that. You kept it short and sweet, and I appreciate that. But there was so much in between that you don't know about or that you didn't write about that this man in a relationship with you comes to you, dumps you, and goes back to his ex-girlfriend. He's a person that don't know how to let go of a relationship when it's over, or that door had not been closed, or you were a rebound, or you was in the meantime. I always get that twisted. In the meantime, between time, and you know what I'm trying to say. You were that girl, right? Because if he really was committed to you and what you guys had, there is no way that he would have dumped you and went back to his ex. And then you got to ask yourself, if you rekindle this romance with this man, with this guy that obviously you're considering reconciling with him, will she always be a threat to you and your relationship? I mean, they're on the outs now, right? Because now he wants to reconcile with you. He wants to reconcile the relationship with you. But when things get a little bit bumpy, or even worse, what if you're at your happiest in this relationship with you, and here he comes again saying he wants out, and he dumps you again and goes back to her? Because it's bound to happen. If you don't find, I don't suggest going back to that. I just think life is too short to be trying to, figure out puzzles and figure out people and why they did what they did. What does this mean? That's just too much. This woman gonna always be a threat because he left you once for his ex. Who's to say he won't do it again? And who's to say now, if you take him back, now you've opened up a door that you shouldn't have, which means that it could mean for him that it is okay for him to go back and forth between you two ladies. Because once he gets tired of one of you, or things get, a little bit unsettling in the relationship, then he's going to run on back over there or come on back over here with you. Do you really want that? I need you to value yourself and your time and your heart. Protect your heart more than that. I understand, and as many grown people do, relationships, sometimes they just don't work out. And sometimes it's nobody's fault, right? Sometimes people just, they're together for a season. Sometimes, people grow apart. Sometimes things just happen. We get that. But I just think you taking somebody back that handled you recklessly like that, he did not handle your emotions or what you had with care, you taking him back, again, that woman, that relationship is always going to be a threat. It's always going to be a threat. Now you're setting yourself up to have issues moving forward in every other relationship after this one, because this one won't last. You're going to grow up and see, you're going to mature and see, you're going to eventually get tired of guessing, having to wonder, what's what, because he left you, he dumped you when things were okay. So you had no indication, according to what you did not write, that something was wrong. He left you for an ex. Will that always be an issue with the two of you moving forward? When did the thoughts begin? When did he start entertaining thoughts of being with his ex? When did he start having those conversations? When were they spending time together? Were they spending time together? Were they sleeping together behind your back? Were they making plans to be with one another while he was still in a relationship with you? Because obviously you were the last to know that he was going back to her while he was with you. And I think you deserve a hell of a lot better than what you got. And I don't think it is advisable, as you phrased it, to reconcile with a man who dumped you and went back to his ex. I think that is irresponsible of you. Irresponsible for, you playing with your heart and your emotions, and you're definitely wasting your time, because if he did it once, he is subject to do it again. Again, with no indication that that's the direction that his heart was going to go. And then you need to ask, why come back to you? Why now? Are you having buyer's remorse because you went over there, you dumped me for your ex? Okay, so why are you back over here now? Because obviously in the moment that you decided, even before he even before he brought his decision to you and said it's over, right? He decided that she was worth more to him than you. He chose her over you. He abandoned the relationship he had with you to go back to her. So now that he's no longer with her, you didn't write about that. Why is he now back with you? Did he suddenly find value in what he threw away? Did he all of a sudden realize what a great woman you were, or what a great relationship you had, and now he wants to come back and try and just jump back into it? And I say, if you're gonna be reckless with your heart and just go back to him, you need to find out why. Why now? Why come back? Because of what? What changed over there that made you come running back over here? I would not advise you to take that man back, because out of all the women in the world, he could have dumped you for it. Going back to an ex is a no-no. I'm just saying. I'm saying, as an older woman, that's problems you don't want. That's what you don't want, okay? And if you take that man back, he's going to be forever going back and forth between you and her. And even if you make the right decision, look at me trying to sway you. Even if you make the right decision and you say, I'll pass on that, okay? I'll pass on that one. You keep doing you and I'm going to be over here. We're good, okay? You know, go disappoint somebody else. Go blindside somebody else. Even if it's not you, sweetheart, trust me when I tell you, the next person that he hooks up with, he'll go back and forth with that ex and this new person too, if they allow it. I think you dodged a bullet. I know it probably hurt when everything first unfolded and he dumped you. I know it hurts. Woman to woman, that hurts. Heartbreak does not feel good, okay? But now that you have passed that initial stage of heartbreak, and now that you can see he's wanting to come back to you, let that be your, I don't know, your vindication, whatever you want to call it, and leave him right where he's at. Because I promise you, if you don't take him back, he's still gonna go back to her. Watch. If you want to take him back, right? Let's just test the waters. Let's just say you want to take him back. Delay it for a few weeks and watch him go back to her. Watch him go back to her, because he's not done with her. That's the problem with most people that jump in and out of relationships who have not healed. When you have not healed, sometimes that person will always be looking back and having thoughts of what could have been, what went wrong, why this, why that, if we could do things different, woo, woo, woo. I think most people have experienced that in one relationship or another, right? That's just to be fair, you know. But he's not over her. And if you think that him coming back to you means he's really over her, you're sadly mistaken. And I wouldn't take him back. I wouldn't take him back. It's a lot going on over there that you don't know, and it was going on behind your back. It was going on while he was in a relationship with you, and out of the blue he comes and dump you and go back to his ex-girlfriend who he reclaimed as his woman and resumed a relationship with. And now that they're on the outs, he's back over here on your doorsteps. Politely decline his offer, okay, and move on with your life. That is my answer. This has been Talk That Talk with DivaSpeaks Relationships. My name is AnGala. If you are just now tuning in, we got a good sister whose man dumped her out of the blue, okay, and went running back to his ex. Now he wants to rekindle or reconcile with our good sis, and she wants to know, is it advisable to reconcile with the guy who dumped you and ran back to his ex? And I'm telling her no. Hell to the no, it is not. Don't do it. You deserve better. He ran back to his ex. Out of all the women in the world that he could have dumped you behind, dumping, first of all, that's a blow to the ego and the gut. But of all the women in the world, you run back to an ex? So now you want to, no. I said no, don't do it. Because whatever him and that ex got going on, it's unresolved. And I don't think it's been fixed thus far. And he ain't over her right about now. He's trying to run game between the two of them. Once he gets tired of one, he comes over here. And once he's going to blindside our good sister again. Because I was trying to tell her that in between the time that you thought you and him, you and old boy was okay, that you and your guy had a great relationship. He was entertaining thoughts and entertaining the ex. He was entertaining thoughts and her. And he got to the point that he made a decision that he's going to go running back over there to his ex while he was in a relationship with our good sis. So I'm telling her, no, it's not advisable. Don't do it. Out of all the men in the world, why would you take him back? Go find you somebody new, or be found by someone new, because she deserves better. Any woman, any man deserves better than to be a toy for someone else, you know? No, the answer is absolutely no. Okay? Once again, my name is AnGala. This has been Talk That Talk with DivaSpeaks Relationships. Toodles.
We'll watch you as you go from day to day. The hands of love will catch you when you fall along the way. My arms will hold and be with you your whole life through, 'cause I am love and I'm in love with you, yes. And I'm in love with you. Come back, lover, come back. This is where you belong. Come back, lover, come back. This is where you belong. Come back, lover, come back. This is where you belong. Come back, lover, come back. This is where you belong. 'Cause I am love. Sprinkle myself around with you. I am love. I'll show my walk upon you. I'm the answer to your question. My king and closure. I'm your friend and your lover, your sister and your brother. Come back, come back. This is where you belong. Come back, come back. This is where you belong. Yeah. Let me in your mind. You're running out of time. Come back, you're wishing like a man.